Hello, good evening. Welcome to Java Programming. So thanks for joining for this session. We have three participants learning this Java language along with me today. Before proceeding with the Java session, what are the topics that we're going to discuss on today's session is listed down on the screen now. Let us understand what is a Java language. So why one should use Java language or why one should learn Java language, especially if somebody is looking out for the job for the first time as a fresher. Then what do you need for your Java skill development? So what should you possess to start with the Java learning? Then a quick start, how to start writing the program with Java. And next thing would be Windows command prompt, understanding about the Windows command prompt and absolute path comma relative path. Then understanding about the hello world program in Java language. Then the topic would be interesting for a certification point of view, like Java source file declaration rules. So today our agenda is 7 topics, and let us start with the Java language. So I would just request you, if you have any doubts or if you have any concerns, just put it in the chat so that we will not miss out about the topic and we can discuss and we can clarify the doubt session at the end, or maybe whenever it is possible during the session. If it is so relevant, we will cover then and there. Right? Hope you all agree.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So let us be interactive in this session. Right? If I ask you a question, I want you to quickly unmute yourself, explain the thing, or maybe share your view, and then again go on mute, right? So that if you are responding interactively, then we can keep the session lively and you learn more things from me, and in return, I'll also learn many things from you guys, right? So let's
Yes.
have an interactive session. So
Sure.
So just to be to understand with what is this Java language and what is the background of this Java language and why somebody actually has come up with the Java language and what was the original intention and who developed and which year it is developed, like brief history of it. All right. Okay, we'll talk about this today. So Java, before Java, uh, do you guys remember any kind of languages that is being used in computer and which is well known and well popular?
Yeah, HTML is a language, I think, older
Okay,
than Java.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Other than HTML, was there any other languages, computer programming languages?
Computer language, C language, C++.
Yeah, C,
Python.
C++, and
Yeah,
Python. Python
is
was
evolved.
started a bit late,
Yeah.
and it is very recent developments in the Python, major
Yes.
developments in Python, and recently very booming
Yes,
language
sir.
along with
Python
Yes.
was now
Java.
number one, I think.
Sorry.
Now Python was boosting, sir, number one, I think.
Yes, yes, yes. Python and Java is very competitive right now.
Yes, sir.
Both of them have nearly like plus or minus 5% of share in the market. Okay, there's only 5% of difference in market as of now.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. So to tell you about Java history, the originally before Java came into existence, there was a person called James Gosling. James Gosling. He was working with a company called Sun Microsystems. Sun Microsystems, and he, along with 5 people, was a developer or a technical expert at Sun Microsystems, working in around the 1990s, right? So those days, programming languages were very few, and very popular among those few languages were um, C language, C++ language, Visual Basic, COBOL, Fortran, and these are the various applications. And in those all programming languages, C language and C++ language and Visual Basic or Visual C++ was a very popular in those days, as early days of our software generation, because these were generic purpose programming languages. That means it is used for developing applications with any use cases. For example, in Windows machine we will see some of the tools like MS Paint, right? MS Paint is used to paint our visual representation of anything in this world, and we can deal with images, we can deal with photos, we can work on sizing, resizing, painting, and we can present anything in drawing and architecture. So many things can be used by or developed by a paint tool. In the same way, those days Notepad was the only piece of software that anybody will get in Windows machine by default. So if anybody is wanting to write any program, they used to write the program in Notepad, right? But whereas in C language, C has a separate environment, a different IDE. IDE is nothing but integrated development environment, where you can write the C programs and C++ programs and it also has a compiler, linker, and interpreter, right? And it also executes the command, executes the exe files, generating the exe files. So this is a very generic purpose programming language, C and C++, where C is a procedural oriented language and C++ is an object oriented programming language. So I'll just brief about what is procedural oriented and what is object oriented in a couple of minutes. So as a quick review, right? So procedural oriented language is that it's a language where you can write executable statements. So what is an executable statement is nothing but if you want to do some particular action in programming, via programming, you need to call a particular function or maybe particular statement to be written, so that it executes and it will give you the desired output or results onto the screen. For example, you go to a Reliance fresh store or the fresh market store, and you go there and you take the vegetables and everything, right? So one kilo, if you take those things, and there be a billing counter where they keep entering with the number of items, the price, the discount, and the total amount of bill, and they generates a printed slip which gives you the details about how many items you purchased and what is the discount applied on each item, and what is the total amount, and what is the total tax, and what is the service tax, and other stuff is printed onto the bill, right? So each one of them, for example, you purchase 1 kilo of tomato, right? So you have to have a specific action to it. So you take that 1 kilo price of it and add it to the total price. So that is a specific desirable function. So to achieve that you have to write your statement, and you have to execute that statement to achieve that output. All right. So each one of the requirement can be an executable statement. Sometimes it is like complex structure. It like complex action or complex desired output. So what you are supposed to do is you have to supposed to create an multiple statements to execute one particular use case, to provide one particular use case. Like this, you can write any number of statements and you can call it as a executable block of code. This is an executable block of code. And if you provide a name to it, for example, add, and this is the name, and you had open round bracket and close round bracket, then it would become a function, right? So in C language or any procedural language, it is possible that you have to write any action, any desirable output. It has to be written in a executable form of statements, and you will be writing this language. This is in high level language like general English, right? So I'll just try to write one simple C program. First thing is main, then open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and in between printf welcome to C programming, right? So this is a function. You can write a simple statement to print something onto the screen. So this is the functionality of this particular program, main function. So we can write any number of statements in this executable block of code, right? So this is called as main function or main method. So in C, we generally call it as function, whereas when we call it as same thing in Java as a method, right? So this is how you write your code in C, and this is a structure oriented, meaning it executes line by line. It executes line by line. And this is a top down approach, meaning what? First it has to, if you are using a variable, it should be defined first. And if you are using a function without defining prior to the function, let's say I am writing a new function called test function, and inside this function I am doing some printf, and you try to write the code test function like this. So this will give you a compile time error saying the test method is not found, test function is not found. Okay, so what you have to do for that issue to be resolved is you have to define in the top. This is called as top down approach. Top down approach. Before using any of these variables or functions, you have to define them prior to the usage. So this is what is called procedural oriented programming.
Sure.
So this is how we write function or statements in C language. So this is called procedure oriented language or top to down, top bottom approach. So everything that you are using should be defined earlier before using them. So this is what is procedural oriented approach. Okay. So what is the biggest advantage of C language? Can anybody tell me what is the biggest advantage?
It is a secure and easily readable language.
It is easily readable language, yes, but secure, I'm not sure how it is secure.
Okay.
Because you must have recently experienced any kind of security threats or trojans or malware or virus or trojan wars. So all these kind of piece of troublesome applications are easily executable with exe files. So any things can be corrupted in the system easily with these things. So in a way that you can write your virus program also in C language, so it does not deny uh, it does not provide any security in that level for sure.
Okay.
You need to have additional packages to have that kind of implementation to make it secure. Yes. So any other advantage do you see? I need one advantage and one disadvantage from C language.
Combination of high level language and low level language.
So you put it in advantage or disadvantage?
Advantage.
Okay. So okay. Anything else like disadvantage? No idea. Okay, fine. So let me tell you about the advantage. So C language has a greater advantage of accessing the hardware. Accessing the hardware, meaning you can access the memory registers with addresses, with memory addresses. So if you are storing some data in memory, you can connect to the memory, you can read the data, and you can manipulate that hardwares directly. So it is very kind of a you can write hardware dependent programming or maybe hardware high efficient programming with C language. That is the advantage. And the same thing is the disadvantage too. You know why? Can you guess why C language having this advantage can be a disadvantage for itself? Any wild
It
guess?
does not support object oriented programming.
The
No, for
basics.
some person,
No, let
yeah,
me complete her question, her point. So the development or the approach how the C language is designed is not the object oriented, it is a procedural oriented language. So that is not a disadvantage, but it is a different topic. Like if it is readability and maintainability point of view, yeah, that is a valid point. But what I'm saying is, with this particular hardware interaction to the programming language, it has an high advantage of high performance. But at the same time, this has one disadvantage, which is a big disadvantage for the C and C++ developers. Any wild guess?
yeah. If a person can access any storage path, you said, so the person entering that path may be advantage for him, but the person who is getting that, getting uh, into his own database, like he suppose he don't want anyone to enter his database, and uh, the other person can access it without his permission, so it is a kind of disadvantage for him who does not want anyone to enter his data and into in database and get the information out.
Yeah, so one way, yes, it is a potentially security threat that if you are having access to any of the hardware resources directly with C language, it is highly possible that somebody can create a viruses or a hacking software unknowingly. If you execute those exe files, it triggers some additional data hacking codes along with the exe files, right? So like that is, it is entirely possible, but I'm asking about a bit different. Okay, let me cover up that. So the biggest disadvantage of having direct access to the hardware is you must have experienced with or maybe coded with some kind of microprocessors and controllers in your graduation, right? If I am correct, you would have already practiced some programs and software written in microcontrollers and microprocessors, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you say about these microprocessors and microcontrollers, there are different family of controllers and processors being used in electronic gadgets. Yes.
Yeah.
So some might be having additional registers, some might be having cache, some might be having something else like this. So the architecture of the hardware can definitely be different for different systems. Agree?
Yes.
So now what happens if you write one program with C language and you are handling with the hardware directly for one microprocessor and one motherboard? It is possible that if you have a different chipset or maybe different microcontroller or microprocessor installed in a different machine, is highly possible that incompatibility with that particular microprocessor or controller. Yes or no? Will you agree or will you not agree? Am I still audible?
Yeah.
So what do you say? The program you have written in one particular hardware machine, when it is taken to a different machine, a different hardware, different configuration, different specifications, hardware specifications, then the same application may not execute as it is, as the way it is expected. So you need to have a portable application. Yes or no? You agree to this or
Yes.
not?
Yes.
So this is a major disadvantage for C and C++ programming, although it has its various advantages, having high performance, but still having this high performance, it is always possible that you will have a tight coupling with your hardware or maybe your operating system, because it depends on some kind of libraries that you are going to use, which the same libraries is not suitable or maybe not portable or may not be executable in the different architecture. So this was a biggest concern in the times around 1990s, that they used to write an application in C language with a high performance language and very interesting programs, but when they are taking those programs to different hardware, those programs were not getting executed. And this was a major issues with the compatibility with the different hardwares. As the industry is growing, so you need to have some kind of a software which is to be executed on all the machines. That was a huge demand. So this is the main big problem. So once you write a program, you may have to rewrite the program according to the different hardware or different operating system, because it is tightly coupled with the libraries and the hardware interaction programs or drivers with the platform or architecture. You agree to this?
Yes.
Please let me know if anybody is disagreeing with my statement. Okay. So you all of you do agree with my statement that it is not a platform independent or maybe not an architecture independent, and you need an extra effort making it executable on different platform, or maybe you need to rewrite some kind of a module so that it will be useful in those environments. So this is an additional extra effort, right? So basically this is the big problem with C and C++, and hence there was a requirement in the industry to have a language or application. Once it is developed, it should be portable to any kind of a hardware, any kind of operating system, needs to be executed without any compatibility issues. So that was the major requirement in those days to have. So Mr. James Gosling from Sun Microsystems, initially with his 5 team members, he has started on a project to develop such a software, such a programming language, which is useful, which will be useful for embedded systems, right? What is embedded systems? As you both know, that a piece of a software written and saved in the hardware itself to do a particular actions on the hardware. That is an embedded system, right? Embedded itself is saying you write a software and put it in those chipset itself, like say motherboard, you have a different chipsets being configured on the motherboard. So any driver or any software that needs to be interacted with the motherboard and other components on the motherboard, you need some kind of a embedded software. So in a way, you say this software should be runnable in a laptop, or maybe it should be runnable in a mobile phone, or maybe it should be executable in like setup boxes. So in your home, probably you might be having dish, antenna, and a setup box. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So initially, this James Gosling and his team started working on a project, and they have named it as Oak, 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 and they released it
Yeah.
in 1991. So the prior to Java language, it was called as Oak language, and they were initially developed this project because of to handle the portable nature and platform and architecture neutrality, right? So this particular language is targeted to write a software to embed it into the embedded systems, and that's why this was initially developed for initially setup boxes, right? Later on in 1995, the first and final release was released on in the year of 1995. It was named as Java 1.0 or Java 1. Java 1.0 or Java 1. So that was the official first release of Java language. So Java language existed on this software world because of this portability nature and platform independence. So platform independence that is expected. That is the reason it has been independence and architecture independence or architecture neutrality. So this so Java being developed with an intention called WORA, write once, run anywhere. WORA. This is WORA principle. So Java has been buzzed and it is released in the market, and it has become big success immediately because it was breaking two big disadvantages with C and C++. And then it was designed, initially planned to work with object oriented design. So these are the two major reasons why Java became popular. Java became popular within no time, and we will discuss about why Java. Why should you learn Java, or why industry should use Java programming language for developing the software applications, right? So first reason is Java is a very simple language. I'll show you with an example why it is so simple. So firstly, we can write this in a high level language. So high level language like English. People can write in any language. The program like Japanese, Chinese, any language, they can develop the application in a high level language. And the code is so simple that anybody can really understand what it is being written. Hello, public static void main string args square brackets open square brackets close open flower braces system dot out dot println welcome to Java programming. This is how we can write a simple Java program. Okay, why is this additional? Okay, so this is how simple we can write the Java program. So it is nearly matching our English language only. So class, hello, public, static, void, main, string, args. So each and every word we can understand and we can read it, right? So this is the simplest language to learn and to code. That is the first reason. Second thing is object oriented. Object oriented programming language. So what does this mean? That means anything you write in Java, you need to put it as object. You need to create an object and you have to use. For example, I'm taking this class hello. So I need to create hello h equal to new hello. So this is a way you can create an object. So if you want to use anything you in Java, you need to realize it in a class and object. So it is a Java oriented programming language and it gives a lot of control in developing the application. So this follows bottom to top approach. Bottom to top approach. So what does this mean? That means you can write class in the top or maybe in the bottom. It does not matter. You can write any number of functions. No order is necessary. You can define variables at the end of the file, end of the function, end of the class. It does not bother. Whereas in C language, it is mandatory that you write or define or declare a statement, variable or maybe a function before you start using them or maybe before calling them, right? So this is the major advantage with object-oriented programming language. So the organization of the code will be very useful. In addition to this top to bottom to top approach, it has some oops features like class, comma, object, comma, inheritance, then polymorphism. So these are the various object-oriented features that it empowers developers to develop the applications in a better way and easy way, less complex. So before going to further step, why it is a simple language, I will tell you one more reason. So Java is a simple language because it does not have a complex topic like pointers. Pointers is really weird in C language, and you need to put a lot of effort to understand pointers, and it is easily confusing topic, right? And there are many other reasons like operator overloading. That means one operator can use multiple kind of functionalities. So like that, there are couple of features in C language which is a bit complex, and it is really like hardware dependent, right? So it will use more performance but still complex kind of programming. Whereas in Java we do not have that what do you call pointers, and we don't need to worry about how the memory being organized internally, how the objects are getting created, how the data is getting stored. So can it be corrupted, data can be corrupted or not corrupted. So all these things can be left out to the Java environment to pick up and then take care of it. There's one more additional feature which is nothing but memory management. So in C language, for memory management, you have to write your own logics to clean up unused data should be cleaned up periodically. Otherwise, the utilization of your RAM goes high and it will occupy the 100% of your RAM memory, right? So it can corrupt your operating system also if the hardware resources have been exhaustively using, and then suddenly you can you can make it crash, right? So these kind of complex structures is not available in Java, and the memory management is also taken care automatically by a concept called garbage collection. So which will clean up the memory and which will create the memory and which will handle the memory management for the application data in the code. And because of this reason, it is a simple language, right? So next point would be like platform independence. We have already discussed what is platform independence. Platform independence, or you can call it as portable. Portable. That means any kind of platform, the application developed in Java language can be executable anytime in any kind of hardware where you have a Java environment set up already. So that is the third one, and fourth one would be architecture. Architecture neutral. As we just discussed, architecture is like hardware specifications. Hardware specification, it can work in 32-bit, it can work in 64-bit. It does not bother whether it is 32-bit or 64-bit, as long as you have an environment suitable, Java environment suitable for the particular architecture, right? So this is the advantage. So because of this third and fourth point, it is write once and run anywhere slogan has become very popular. And next point would be it is robust language. What do you mean by robust language? So in C language, when you are writing program, it is always possible that you create an array with 5 elements and you try to access sixth or seventh element. It does not give any kind of error. It does not give any kind of error. It just gives some garbage value in the available in that memory location, right? And it does not allow you to sometimes you run a program and it get crashes and you do not know what the hell happened with your program. Have you ever experienced with any C program that you have written in your past? At least I have experienced. There was a Mario program, Mario game, right? Whenever I try to double click on it and it immediately pops up and immediately it shuts down. I did never know what was the reason. So later I figured it out that my desktop system resolution was not compatible with the application that is being executed, right? So again, there was a application, I mean hardware dependency, and for that reason it was failing, and I never understood because it was not giving any clear error, right? So there was a requirement that if you are running some program and it abruptly gets killed and you do not know anything how to handle that situation, so then it is really a messy kind of a software, right? If for example you purchase your laptop, your mobile, and you have an OS, and immediately once you start your OS and start your mobile and connecting and everything, suddenly it gets collapsed and crashed, and you whatever you apply on your mobile phone, like switch off, switch on, anything you do, it does not respond. So what would you feel? What will be the your experience with that with that product? You will definitely,
Annoyed.
sorry, annoyed.
Yes.
Yes, you will be annoyed and you will be frustrated. Why you have spent money on this, and you will curse like anything on that particular product vendor.
Yeah.
Right? So so Java language is a robust because it gives you an opportunity to handle such kind of errors, to manage it, to handle it programmatically. There is something called exception handling. So when an exception arises in the case, you will be able to get a signal that okay, there is an exception raised on this particular scenario and this is the reason it is failing. So now you will be able to handle, and you close the application with the prompt message that this is got crashed, and so on, so on, so reason, go and fix that. So proper error handling and proper user interaction, or the documentation for the interaction to the user will improve the experience of user experience on the product. So people will like such kind of products, and today there are opportunities like job opportunities like UI UX designer. UI is the one who develops UI application, but whereas UX is a very special one where how you will rate the UI developed and how it is being perceived from the end user point of view or customer point of view. That is called as user experience. So today UI and UX designer is also one kind of job opportunity that you have as a fresher, right? When you understand about these two concepts like user development, GUI development, and as well as user experience development, so how user friendly it is, and how neatly it is, how beautiful it is, and how robust it is. So all these things will add on to the product. So people tend to use Java language because it is having exceptional handling also, right? Now, so the next one would be multitasking. Multitasking. So you must be already have played a video, uh, and you must have played a game in your system uh, using keyboard, mouse, joystick. So what happens when you are trying to execute such a software which uses audio, video, and hardware, audio, video, and hardware? So you need to perform multiple tasks at the same time. If you are using left key or right key, immediately it has to take effect and it has to present the screen. You have to move on the screen, and you have to have a voice background, and so there are many tasks which needs to be executed. Those tasks have to be done in a parallel mode. So you have to develop such applications like multitasking. So the next one would be secure application. So Java has a built-in security manager. Built-in security manager in Java runtime environment. Meaning, if you write a program and you compile it, it will be executing into one low-level language, that is intermediate level language, machine-dependent code. Okay, that code, when you execute it, while execution, it is first checking whether that particular file is being modified by somebody else, opening it manually or maybe opening it with the programmatically. Okay, so there is a security manager in Java which will ensure that this particular file is not tampered or not modified with additional piece of code in it. So security manager will take care of this. Along with this application, when it is interacting with multiple other interfaces or maybe other applications or maybe other systems, it is always using cryptographic. You can encode in secure language like cryptographic. That means any data exchange between the Java program to any other program can be encrypted and sent with strong encryption methods, strong encryption algorithms, right? So this is how Java applications are secured, and this is the reason why Java has become more popular around the time 1995 to 2015, or maybe right now till now it is having very good security. And these vulnerabilities in the Java programming language will keep getting updated with the newer packages addressing those vulnerabilities. So always you can stay connected and updated with respect to security point of view, and you will be able to handle security bugs or security threats easily with the Java programming language. So that is how it is secured. Then next one would be, it is World Wide Web. World Wide Web application development. So with the Java, there is a big revolution in the internet. Everybody is able to handle access the application or data from the different parts of the world with different machines, right? So it is distributed distributed computing. So worldwide application, it has given a big boosting thing for applications to run in a distributed mode of environment, right? So this is one other reason why Java has become very much popular. And next reason would be high performance. So before going to high performance, we'll call it as Java is an interpreted language. What is interpretation? So there are two kind of uh, uh, tools available in programming language, in our programming language. One is compiler and one is interpretation. So compiler is like, it will execute, it will check the syntax and it will convert each one of the line into executable statements or machine code, and it will generate into a file, executable file, right? So now compiler is the one which will translate high level language into the machine understandable language. So this is a compilation process. Compilation is like one bulk process. It will go through each line and it will compile and it will generate all of this at once. But whereas interpreter meaning it will convert one line, it will execute it, and again convert another line, it will execute it. So that is the nature of interpreter, which converts that into machine language like ones and zeros, and executes the particular use cases or actions in the program, in a system. So Java is not only a compiler based, it is interpreter also. It has an interpreter in inbuilt, right? So for compiling we use compiler, for execution we use interpreter, right? So this is it, interpreter. Then it is high performance. High performance. It is a high performance, but it is always lagging with respect to C compatibility. Okay, C, when you take C language, it is accessing hardware directly. That means it can program, it can deal with hardware actions directly with hardware relevant API. But whereas in the Java programming, it is not so directly possible, because as we discussed already, it has to be platform independent and architecture independence. So there is a layer in between this hardware and the application that you are developing or you are interacting. So always Java is little bit less performance when compared with the C language, but it has a higher performance with in the interpreter mode. It has built in one more compiler, and it compiles, it verifies, and it executes it. So there is something called just-in-time compiler in the Java runtime environment, which will ensure that it is matching to the performance to the C language, but it is little bit less or less performance than C language, but it is almost matching to the things, having all these advantages, having all of these advantages with bit kind of compromise in the performance, and yet it is trying to match to the performance to the C language. So because of that reason, we can call it as a high performance as well. High performance as well. And then last one would be, you can call it as dynamic. So dynamic is that in runtime scenario, it is able to detect, and it will be able to run the situation according to the needs. Okay, so this is very interesting topic, like polymorphism, right? So it executes different behavior depending on the different environments, right? It is adaptable. Secondly, it is memory management is really very good enough. Memory management, so like allocating memory, cleaning up memory, and then garbage collection whenever the data is not needed anymore. So you will always be able to clean up the memory and manage automatically without your notice, without your worry. You can peacefully work on coding, and you can peacefully work on better way of for loops and language constructs, right? So using better coding principles, you can develop your software. And memory management is inbuilt, taken care by the Java itself, so you don't need to worry about it. So having all these these features make Java very powerful language. And so and so this is the reason why it is occupying nearly 35 to 40% of market in IT industry. Java is being used nearly 40% of market share, right? You understand? Let's say if there are 100 jobs posted on for freshers, 40% of jobs, so 40% of out of 100 jobs are okay to have, or maybe looking for Java kind of experience, or maybe skilled people on the Java language. So you understand the importance. And sometimes it is you need additional skills like operating system like RHEL or maybe Windows or maybe DB. So you need those additional skills will put you in a better position in an interview, so that you will be able to deal the interview in a better way, right? So these are the reasons why you have to learn Java, because these features put Java in a special case, and that's why market is still using the Java programming language. And coming till 5 more years, this is comfortably you can develop all the applications in Java, and later on the advances will take care, like artificial intelligence, machine learning, then microservices, Docker based. So it is possible to have a different programming languages at the different use cases, right? But as of today, you have a very good future. And if you are looking as a fresher job, so this is one of the edge that will keep you in the market, because 40% of jobs are depending on Java, right? If you learn Java language, you are eligible for the 40 jobs. So that is the reason you have to still learn with Java programming language. So coming to the prerequisites of Java, I have prepared a document for it. So what is required in order to set up a Java environment in your system to practice, to start with, right? You need to have minimum of 8 GB RAM. 4 GB is also okay, but 8 GB RAM is having smooth and high performance kind of applications you can run smoothly, right? Yeah, nowadays our operating system like Windows 7, Windows 10 and higher are taking nearly 2 GB of RAM for the basic hard operating system to work itself, to its run its basic needs on the system. It is nearly occupying 2 GB of RAM. So having 4 GB always slows down, and you need to have a lot of patience to keep running your applications, or maybe opening and closing applications, all kind of sort of troubles you keep experiencing with it. And you can develop these applications using this Java setup in any kind of a processor like core 2 or dual core, or maybe i3 or i5 or maybe i7, right? Any generation would be sufficient for it. And you have at least 100 GB of hard disk in your system, so that your operating system itself takes nearly around 40 GB of data. And as long as you keep updating your applications and installing the new kind of applications on your system, so the need of operating system and security patches and other data to be stored as a temporary kind of it, so the need of operating system is growing day by day. Somewhere around you need to have 50 to 70 GB of data for space for storing the data in your hard disk. So always you need to have at least to 100 GB minimum of your hard disk capacity. Then coming to the operating system, you can use Windows 7 or Windows 10 home or professional version, or maybe you can use Ubuntu or Red Hat or CentOS or any other flavored SUSE Linux. So in the various Linux platforms available in the market, so you can install any of these things. Then you would need good and stable internet for downloading the softwares which are required to set up in your Java environment in your system, right? So at least you try to have at least 1 to 2 Mbps, about 2 Mbps line internet connection, so that you will download the needed softwares with less time and quick mode, right? So before setting up the Java application environment, Java runtime environment in a system, so just try to clean up with the different multiple Java versions to avoid the conflicts while running, right? So in this case, we are actually using Java 8, JDK 8, because although in the market we have Java 9, Java 11, 13, 15, 17, so there are many Java versions coming in the market and pushing us to upgrade, right? But whereas in the market, in the real time IT industry, people are still working with Java 7 and Java 8. So comfortably, if you are developing applications with Java 8, your future for 5 years is very secured, as Java life support for Java 8 JDK 8 is still available for the many clients, right? So you can still work with 5 more years on Java 8, and it is not necessary to have a certification on 9 or maybe 10 or 11, 12. I mean 9, 11, 13, 15, or maybe 18 or 17. So we comfortably start with Java 8 JDK 8, and let us be proficient in Java 7 and Java 8. There are various features Java 8 also do offer, so let us understand that and prepare for that as well. And various other softwares like Eclipse IDE for developing better application and better management and team management. Then code repository, having code repository and working in a team mode, like multiple people working on the same project and committing the code into a machine and building that. So all sort of these things. Eclipse also will be a suitable software for you. And Tomcat 7 is a web server to host up all web applications. Then Edit Plus, or maybe we can use comfortably Notepad Plus Plus or Edit Plus to develop our applications to get hands on with the Java language before using IDE. And we can use the MySQL also for the database purposes, to store the data and to retrieve it and to handle it, right? So these are the various requirements that it would be needed from you to start programming on Java. So without practice, your knowledge that you are gaining theoretically is of no good use. So always when you go for an interview, if there are two people, one people have theoretical knowledge and he can tell, okay, and whatever is the definition defined in a book, and there is one other person who can write a program and who can dismantle the program, who can improve the program, and you can rewrite the program if needed with a better way, right? So with an experienced guy, so who will be preferred? The one who is having just a theoretical knowledge or a practical knowledge? And if somebody gives a program and tell me what is wrong with the program, you will be able to answer. So this, comparing these two people, who will be getting an offer, Java offer, when he goes for an interview, same interview? What do you think, first one or second one?
Second one.
Obviously, right? So when you have a better knowledge, a better experience, better programming skills, whether if you have a real-time knowledge and real-time experience, then obviously, or maybe you have a certification on the particular area of the subject, so you stand unique. You can tell, why should I hire you? Because I am looking as this is a job profile and I have these many skills. And when I'm matching your job requirement, and I don't think you will say no to me, because I have all those skills needed from the job role that you are described, right? It is always convincing. So you don't need to depend or maybe say, I'm a hardworking guy. How many times do you say still I'm a hardworking guy, right? Every fresher who comes out of the college, he says, I'm hardworking, I'm adaptable, I can work in any kind of environment, does not matter a day shift, does not matter night shift, does not matter, anytime you call me, I'll be able to work on it, and kind of it, I can work and independently. So how many days will you keep telling the same things for your interviewer? So I would say that if you have real-time experience, at least like 6 months to 1 year or maybe 2 years, right? So you will have a very good chances. You crack every interview you go, and you can turn your every interview into a job offer. So this is a kind of a skill that you're going to learn with our sessions, with these recordings and with these sessions. And if you're really interested, we can do a lot more. And I would need your time of maybe 6 to 8 hours every single day working on these areas to master. And I'm sure if you keep practicing like 8 hours a day on this area, like I said, or like I guide, in a way that you will be able to clear your certification. Also, when you go for a 2 year experience guy or 3 years experience guy, also you will be able to clear the interview without any kind of a struggle. That means you're secure, your career will be secure for the next 3 years. Anytime you go out of your company and looking for a job change, your skills will be very unique and you will be getting a great opportunity to work with any company. So this will be an additional advantage to you if you are working with us. And in the meanwhile, if we are getting any real-time projects with any client, so we will involve you in developing such applications, and also we will give you a developer credits that you have developed so and so application, and you have worked on the team and other stuff. Will also help you to build your credibility on your resume. When you go to and when you have all these things in your resume and go for an interview, you stand unique. You stand unique. So yes, if you are really interested about your skills and your career, yeah, you are in right place to start with. Right. So this in addition to the required skills and softwares and system hardware requirements, we have listed down how to download each piece of software, from where you have to download, and all these the details are detailedly documented for you, so that if you are referring to this document and by yourself anytime in your entire life, you will be able to download the softwares whichever is required to setting up this particular Java. No matter what, any kind of dependencies that you have to use with your projects. So in a real-time environment, you may not be working exactly in the same set of softwares. You will be needing upgrading your skills or upgrading your softwares, and you may need to do POC. POC is a proof of concept. That means when you are researching and developing a new kind of idea, you have to develop working concept. That is called as proof of concept, POC, right? So like this you have to develop. So these skills whatever we are going to learn in this training sessions will also give you an edge, where you can set up things by yourself. You can understand the projects. Even though you go to a company and you start working on a project without anybody's support, if you are able to understand the code by yourself, right? If you understand how to debug the code, if you understand how to troubleshoot, how to enhance, then you are really having a bright future and bright career in IT industry, with less kind of a pain, less the struggle, right? So these are the advantages with the programming sessions that we will be interacting with. So this is about the prerequisites. What kind of hardware requirements and what kind of software requirements, hardware and software requirements to set up Java and runtime environment, Java development and runtime environment. So next comes quick start with Java programming, right? We have another 3 more topics. I'm not sure if I'll be able to cover the rest of the last 2 topics. We will plan it for tomorrow, but we will cover these two, at least this one particular quick start programming, right? So these 3 topics, let us cover it tomorrow extensively. So first steps, quick start with Java programming. So first thing you need to do is so where is our 4114? Yeah, here it is. So to do a quick start of Java application development. So there are three major steps involved. First one is preparing a system ready for Java environment. Prepare your system. That means installing the needed softwares, download and install the needed softwares for supporting to development. Then setting the environment variables to pick up and to understand where Java is and where your applications are getting developed and stored, right? And the third one would be starting with Java program itself. So I already have a recorded video for installing Java JDK in your machine and setting the environment variables like Java underscore home and path variables in a video. Please refer to that YouTube video, and if you still face any kind of issues, just comment it and let me know, and I'll try to help it out on it. So going forward, let us talk about the starting with Java core Java application, right? So let us conclude with this topic today. So again, writing or starting with a simple Java program, basically we have three steps procedure. First one would be, you need to write a program. And you have to put all the simple logic, whatever you want for your business case into this program. And secondly, you need to compile. So you need to use Java compiler to make it machine readable program, right? And then the third step would be executing the particular generated file. So this is a three-step process, and let us go through about each individual step. So coding. So there are 4 steps in coding. One is you need to have an editor, a file editor where you have to write your program. Secondly, you have to create a new file in it, write the code inside the file, and save the file with file name .java. So you need to save the file as .java extension all the time to represent it as a Java source file. So when you mark it as .java extension, then that file is called as Java source file. So let us follow these simple 4 steps. So you know that we are already using Notepad++. So first step, that you're opening up the Notepad++. If you do not know, try to download from the setup video that I have discussed, and you try to type Notepad++, to launch the application. I already have launched the application. So first thing would be open Notepad++, and second thing would be open a new file and start writing code in the file. So click on new, and you need to start writing the code in the file. So let me start writing with CLASS. So as we discussed, it is object-oriented programming. So anything you want to develop, hey you. This is a class name, and I will put it as public class hey you, and inside this public static void main string args square brackets open, square brackets close, round brackets close, star brackets open, new line, and system dot out dot print ln welcome to Java programming. So close flower braces and close flower braces. So it is always important that whatever code block you're opening, you need to ensure you are properly closing it. Okay, it may be a class or it may be a function, it may be anything, right? So you need to do like this. Then pick up the class name, pick up the class name, copy the class name and click on file and save. So in our environment, we already have set up C files, Java, apps, core Java. So whatever applications we are going to develop in our training sessions, we will be storing our all Java applications inside this core Java folder of apps folder, which is available in Java and files folder in C drive. So let me copy paste that class name here and give an extension as Java, as we have seen in the instructions. So we need to save it as .java extension and click on save. So now you have written the first Java program to just to say welcome to Java programming, to say hi to you, right? So now if now the step was coding, that coding step is now completed. The coding step is now completed. The coding step is now completed. So we opened a notepad++ file. We have opened a new file. We have written the code in the file and we have saved the file. So the second step would be compiling. So for compiling Java program, we have to open a command prompt and we have to go to the location where the Java source file is saved and execute with a command called javac and give an option as the file name .java, whichever file name we have saved, they give the same file name to compile. So let me open up the CMD window. So click on Windows button, then type CMD and open CMD prompt. So now you can see that it is in different path, that is C users, neo businessman. In your case, it would be C users with your name, your username, maybe administrator, or maybe with your name like Shiva or Ram. So it will be in your name, and you have to go to the path where our Java file is getting stored, right? So we have seen just now that it is stored in C colon // files / Java / apps / core Java. So we have been into this position, and let us use the command. What next command is Java file name .java to compile. So Java C. What is the file name? What is the file name? This is the file name. So take the file name .java Java. So now we have compiled and there were no issues in my code. I have written the perfect code and that's why there's no compile time errors. So once it is compiled, it will generate a file which is named as class extension. That would be heyu.class. Heyu.class. So for listing dir hey star. So you can see that there is a heyu.class got generated. So for execution, you need to use Java command and you need to pass argument as a class name. So let us use the class name, that is hey you. Hey you. Welcome to Java programming. So these are the steps involved to kickstart with Java core Java application. So let me wrap it up in a minute. So there are 3 steps involved in developing core Java application. Step number 1, you have to write a code, open the file, write the code inside the file and save it as .java extension. Then it would become Java source file. So Java source file is written in Java language. It is a high level language as a simple English. So this language has to be converted into machine understandable language or machine readable language. So for that we need a step number 2 called compilation. We use Java compiler to compile the Java source file into a class file, which in turn is the one which we have to execute. So first step number 2 is compiling. You need to open command prompt and you have to go to the path where your Java source file is saved, and then execute the command Java C, give the file name .java to compile. And once it is compiled, it successfully generates the .class file. And then step number 3, it is an execution. So for execution of Java program, you need to use the command called Java class name. So you need to execute Java class name, and that is what we have done here. So Java C for compiling and Java for execution. And here ends our first Java program, or quick starting the Java program. So as we have completed our quick start with Java core application, core Java application. So we have covered all the 3 basic steps. One is coding, compiling, and execution. And we have seen the output. So next point would be Windows command prompt. Let us explore more about Windows command prompt, absolute path, relative path. Post Windows command, we will understand about hello world program. Post that, we will understand about Java source file declaration rules. Okay, Java source file declaration rules. So in order to work with Java, we have basically 2 tools. One is Java C, another one is Java. Java C is a command to initiate compiler to trigger. So to initiate the compiler, we have to use Java C command, and which takes an argument as file name.java. So Java C command initiates the Java compiler, and Java compiler open up the file.java, whatever argument we provide, whichever file name we provide. It go through each line by line in that particular source file. It will try to find all the relevant information, all the known words, known language words to compiler. And if there is any kind of issue or a syntactical mistake, then it will raise an important notification by errors. These errors are called as compile time errors. Compiler raises errors about syntax, that if it is understandable, if it is able to understand the code written in the source file, then it will consider and it will produce an output which is .class file. And for execution, it uses a command called, we have to use a command called Java. Java is nothing but one interpreter, or you can call it as JVM. Often Java interpreter is called as JVM. So JVM is the one which will initiate our Java program execution. So this JVM will be provided or will be installed in every device where you have a Java in it. If you install Java in it, by default, it is going to create this JVM or interpreter. So you will be able to execute any kind of Java program. So to understand more, Java Development Kit. Development Kit is used for developing applications. Development Kit is used for developing applications. So for execution, you need something called Java Runtime Environment. Java Runtime Environment. So Java requires JDK and JRE. So JDK is nothing but it provides all the tools, to support development, Java application development, and hence it is called as Java Development Kit. Java Development Kit. So what is JRE? JRE provides the runtime environment to end users. So it is actually called as Java Runtime Environment. Java Runtime Environment. So when you download JDK from Oracle website, which is an official website for downloading Java software, so JDK provides both JDK and as well as inbuilt JRE, which is called as private JRE. This is called as private JRE. There is two JREs which comes with Java software. One is private JRE, one is public JRE. So JDK contains JDK plus JRE. JRE contains only JRE. So if you don't want to develop a Java application, then you don't need to install JDK. If you want to develop an application, then you require JDK. If you don't want to develop an application, but just execute the Java application, then you would require something called JRE. So this is public Java runtime environment. So this public Java environment will provide you Java command. In the JDK, we will get Java C command and Java command because it has JRE also inbuilt JR, right? So this provides Java command which initiates execution. This is called as Java interpreter. You can also call it as JVM. So which is meaning but Java virtual machine. Java virtual machine, right? So this is the basic Java packages, and these both together contribute Java to SE, or you can call it as Java SE, Java to SE or Java SE. So it's a standard edition, standard edition. So this is used for developing core Java applications. So we develop core Java applications. So core Java application is nothing but standalone Java standalone application. For example, what is standalone application? So this is a notepad, and this functionality of this notepad application is to provide an interface to write text into a file. This is called as a text editor. This is called as text editor. If you want to edit some file, you need some piece of software which is called as text editor. So where there are some number of text editors, let's say Notepad is one, Notepad++ is one, and Edit Plus is one other. And we have some more tools for editing software, editing code, right? But for now, we will stick to Notepad++. So in order to develop core Java application, we require Java JDK, and to run we require Java JRE. So let us further understand about command prompt. So how do we trigger the Java C and Java command? Java C and Java command is a tool, a new tool from OS point of view, from OS, provided by, now it is Oracle Java, provided by Oracle Java. So what this tool is, you have to execute this tool in command prompt. Need to execute these tools in Windows command prompt. So how to open command prompt? So Windows button on the keyboard plus Windows button plus R. It opens up run command. Windows R. This is a shortcut for opening command prompt, and then type CMD and click on OK. So this is the command line interface. And this is called graphical user interface. That means you are able to control this using mouse, and you can move up and down, scrolling with some components in this particular UI. This is scroll bar. This is menu. And you can right click and then do anything like copy, paste, cut, select, then change uppercase, comment, uncomment. Like this, you can do many actions on this. So this is called as graphical user interface. For example, you go to a supermarket or a vegetable mart. There you find a machine in which you find keys and a small screen, a very small screen, probably digital. So it has all the UI is, you interact with menu commands. For example, to open something you use 1, to select one item use maybe 2, to add mangoes it might be 3. Like this, when you key in a particular code, then it will trigger the functionality. Same way, if you are developing such application in Java, if you want to develop such an application in Java, you need something called command prompt. This command prompt is an inbuilt software coming along with your Windows Server installation, Windows operating system installation. Be it Windows XP, be it Windows 7, be it Windows Vista, be it Windows 10, right? Any of these Windows versions will have this command prompt. command prompt. So this is command line user interface, and this one is graphical user interface. So let us more understand about the command line interface. So you execute anything on this particular command line interface with a command. So to initiate any new command, then a new command prompt, you can just execute CMD. When you execute CMD, it will open up the new command prompt. So the same way Windows R and then CMD. So it has opened up new window. Now inside this window, this is called as prompt. This is called as prompt. So this prompt has a specific meaning. This prompt has specific meaning. What does it mean? This particular folder is called as current working directory. This is called as current working directory. That means it is a folder structure. It is a folder structure created in your hard disk. Created in your hard disk. If you want to go to this particular structure, you have to do Windows E. Windows E is a shortcut to open File Explorer. And you have to click this PC. And you can see how many drives present in your hard disk. In my hard disk, I have 256 GB hard disk, and that hard disk is created with only one partition, which is called as C partition. Name of this C partition is local disk C. So in a short form, this is called as C disk, C drive. This is called as drive. And you can find all the list of directories and folders in this particular path. Now I have users folder, and inside that I have neo businessman folder, and this is the path. Right now I have opened the command prompt. So this is the default directory. Whenever you open a command prompt, it will be something like this in your system also. For example, if your system is having only one drive, then it will be having C. Then inside that C drive, you will be finding users. Inside that, whichever user you created for logging in Windows, right? This is user neo businessman for my end. Maybe in your system, might be your name like Dhananjay, or maybe Harsha, or maybe Prajwala. Like this, you will be having your name identified here. So there will be a particular folder in users with your name, within username, right? So inside this, whichever folders and folders and files available, that can be accessed through your command prompt. And the command for listing down all the commands in this drive is dir. You can see this. There is some dot and double dot and dot bash history, which are, you can see bash history is there, but dot and double dot is by default given to any folders in Windows structure. Okay. So when command prompt, you can always use dot to current directory and dot to parent directory. This is the link going forward to child directories or going back to parent directories. This is the convention we have to use. And you can see git config, git for Windows updater, git for Windows updater, then m2, ssh, then cd objects, that is a folder, contacts, that is a folder, creative cloud files, that is a folder, desktop folder. So if some folder is present in the current folder, it will be identified as a directory. In command prompt, folder is called as a directory. In command prompt, folder is called as directory. So directory is a place where you store multiple folders, multiple files. You can have nested folders. That means there will be a folder. Inside a folder, you can create a B folder. Inside B folder, You can create a C folder like this. Any structure you can create for your directory structure. Understood this? This is dir. So for listing down, if I want to list down all the directories or all the files starting with D, so then I have to use a command called dir. Dir is for listing. Then use D and star. It will list down all the folders and files having name as D. For example, if I want to list down files, so right now I will use dir dot star. So it will list down all the files in the current folder, all the files in the current directory, current working directory. This is called as current working directory. So understand this in this way. So basically in Windows machine, we have hard disk arranged or formatted in drives. It is called as drive. And if we have only one drive, and the drive name would be C. Inside C drive, we will create so many folders. This is folder 1. This is folder 2. These are direct childs to root, that is C drive. All right. So it could be any folder name. Let's say I will put it as A, and I will put it as B. And I will put one more folder inside A. I'll put one more folder inside B. Let's say I'll name it this one as C folder. I'll name this one as D folder. So this is the directory structure. So inside this, it is having C. Inside B, it is having D folder. So basically this is the root. This is the root of this particular path. You can find any resources inside this particular path using root. So let me talk about A. So A is first level child for C drive. This is first level. Then this is second level. So there is a C folder inside A folder. Now C folder parent is A and A folder parent is C drive. In the same way, in C drive, I have created a folder with name B, and inside B folder, there is D folder. So parent of D folder is B and parent of B folder is C drive. You may create any number of subfolders. Let's say I'll create E and I'll create F. These are called as nested folder structure. Then from D, this would be E, and from E, I will create a F folder. I'll create F folder. This is E, this is F. So now this is only 2-level folder structure, but this is having 5-level folder structure. One is root, that is C drive, then B, then D, then E, then F. So parent of F folder is E, parent of E folder is D, parent of D folder is B. This is called as tree structure. Our data and files are organized in a tree structure in Windows machine. So the tree structure starting with the root with drive name. Then you will have subfolders. These two are at the same level. These two are at same level. And these are child. And this is child. And these are childs for this child. So in family analogy, there'll be one father. He has two sons, A son and B son. And for A, he has a son of C with name C, and B with son of D, and D has son E, and E has son F. So if you talk about the family or structure, it will be like this. This is called as uh, family organization or family classification. In the same way here, it is formed in the tree structure. So A and B are siblings, A and B are direct siblings, and C and D are cousins. That means children to the siblings. So C becomes sibling child to B, and D becomes sibling child to A. So this is how the structure is organized in Windows machine, right? Windows hard disk. Now, if you want to traverse these paths, then we have to use a command called cd. I want to go to C drive. So for going C drive, cd C:/. So this is a command to going to C drive. If there is any other drive, then give that drive. Let's say if I'm having D drive, then use D:. So it will switch to D drive. If you have one more drive called E, use E:, then you will switch to E drive. So now the root becomes E drive, not the C drive. Now we have understood about the directory structure and how the files and folders are organized in Windows machine. Then we started understanding about command prompt. Command prompt. So now I see so much of data present on the screen in the command prompt. I want to clear off all this data and look like a fresh command window. So what command is used to clean up this? Do you have any idea what command we can use it to clean up the command prompt?
No.
Okay,
Clear all.
wild guess, but it is not true. This is the command is called CLS. CLS is the command used to clear the screen, command prompt screen. Now, can somebody tell me what is the command to list down directories in the current directory? If I want to list down all the files, all the contents of the C drive, which command I have to execute in the command prompt? What is the name of a command I have to use to list down all the files and folders in the current directory?
C:// or dir.
So the command is just a dir.
Yeah, dir. Sorry.
You don't need to mention about the prompt or the maybe current working directory. You just need to tell me the command.
Okay.
There are so many folders in this particular path, and I want to list down the folders with starting with F. Can somebody tell me what is the command?
Yeah, *F.
F. Are you sure? Can you tell me the full command?
Um,
Sorry, someone else is answering. I'm not sure who that is. Can you please speak louder?
F star.
dir. Can you put it in chat if you are not able to answer?
dir star f. I think that is correct.
dir star f. Will you agree, Harshavardhan and Prajwala? Do you agree that dir star f is this command correct, or do you differ with this statement? So Prajwala puts in the chat that dir f star. You are right. I said I want to start with f. The folders or files starting with f. So first one would be f, and star indicates with any character and any number of characters after finding f, after matching f.
Yeah.
So dir f star. If you execute this, it will list down the folder structure with f. Now I want to list down all the folders ending with s, ending with s. So what I can do, dir star s. So all the folders and the files ending with s has been displayed here. So I do not find any single file with name ending with s, but I find all the directories only with matching with this particular string, this particular condition.
Okay, now
So,
I got the concept.
yes. So
Yeah, when to put front and back the star thing.
yes, yes, that is a search pattern. That is a search pattern, right?
Yes.
So now what if I want to do something post and before? Post and before. So if I want to list down which has GRAM in the name, so what will be the command? dir star GRAM star, enter key. It will list down which matches to this particular search string, right? I find two folders which has GRAM in middle content, in the name, not start, not end. Understood this?
Yeah.
So these are the commands with dir. Next, yeah, dir star, yes, correct. Now, right now we are in C drive. We are in C drive. Our current working directory is the drive itself. Our current working directory is the drive itself, mean root. Inside root, we want to go to some path. Let's say I want to go to files, cd files, and hit an enter key. It will change to directory. The command cd is nothing but change directory to files. So files is the child folder to C drive. Files is child folder to C drive, which is the root. And you can list down all the files and folders in the files folder using dir command. Then I want to go to Java. Let's say cd again, use a directory name. Then I have moved to Java, which is just similar to opening, double clicking C drive, double clicking F drive. So when you double click, it gets open. The directory gets open. In the same way, here right now in the command prompt, we are in the path C files, and inside files there is Java directory. When we have gone into Java directory, and these are all the list of folders and files. Again, do a dir command. It will list down all the things. Full stack Java development.txt. It is not shown as a directory. It is a file. It is a file. So if I want to list down all the files, not only directories, I want to list down all the files in the current folder. What is the command? What is a command to list down all the files, not only folders, not folders, not folders. I want only listing down the files. Can somebody tell me the command to list down the files in the current folder? Please be quick.
It's not dir.
Can you put it in chat? Is my voice clear?
Yeah.
Can you put the command in the chat?
Sure.
Please be quick. We are losing time. If you do not know, just type as no. Prajwala, Harshavardhan, Dhananjay. Prajwala and Harshavardhan. No, do not know. Prajwala. No, my question is to list down all the files in current directory. Current directory is Java. I want to list down all the folders. All the folders means just dir, folders and files. I want to list down only the files. I want to see only the files. I have already given some examples. You also have answered, like dir f star, meaning starting with f. Dir star yes, meaning ending with yes. Dir star gram star, meaning it will list down all. So my condition right now is I want to list down files. How to differentiate files and folders? How does we differentiate files and folders? This is a very basic thing in Windows or maybe any kind of system. So since I did not get a proper answer, I will tell you. So folder has only name. Folder or directory has only name. But whereas if something is stored as a file, file should have file name dot extension. So whichever name is having dot extension, if you find a name with dot extension, then that is called as a file. So in this case, can you list down what are all the files? Can you see the files here? Can you read out what is a file name in this output?
Yeah, 1398 full Java development.txt.
So the file name is full Java underscore development dot txt. So if I want to list down all the files, dir star, it could be anything, right? As we discussed, it is file name dot txt, right? So any name, it could be any character, any number of characters, any single character or 10 characters or 1000 characters, does not matter. So star indicates more than one, 0 and more than 1. Okay. Then it is having dot in it. Dot meaning extension. Then use again star. Then hit an enter key. Now it will say all the things starting with star dot star. Or maybe I will say star.txt. Specifically to find out the folder, you can use this way. Sorry, files. Specifically to list files. Let me add one more file here. I will open up a notepad, Control R, notepad. I will just write A and save this file as a.txt in C files Java in the Java path, that is C files Java path. Let me save the file in it. You can see a file here. Let me create one more. Save as B. I will put B. So now there are two files existing. I'll do again save as and put as C. So now it is creating another file. So save as creates multiple files like this. So we have 4 files and rest of the things are folders. So let me go back to the path, to the command window, and list down star dot star. Let me see if at least now I get. It is showing everything. It is showing everything. So I would say, let me not just put star, but I want to list down all the files with txt, extension having .txt. So it has listed down a.txt, b.txt, c.txt, then full Java underscore development.txt. So it says that you have 4 files in this particular directory, which is C files Java. C files Java. Understood this concept? If you want to list down files, you need to use command dir star dot extension, whichever extension you want. It is done. Okay. Now there is something, an important topic called, there's an important topic called absolute path and relative path. Where is it? I have somewhere mentioned it in our discussion. Absolute path. Yes, here it is. Absolute path and relative path. Absolute path, relative path. So what is absolute path and what is relative path? So absolute path, I'll put you a small example. Okay, let me save this file with something. Directory. So let me open up a new file. Okay. Can somebody tell me where you are residing? Let me ask Dhananjay. Dhananjay,
Yeah,
can you tell me where you are right now located?
I'm located at Manu PG.
At Manu PG.
Yeah,
So
High
you are
Colony,
in
Manu PG.
Manu PG. Where is Manu PG?
It's under a colony
Which
called Thai
colony?
colony. Thai colony.
Sai colony.
Yeah.
So Manu PG is in Sai colony. Where is Sai colony?
Beltur.
It is a place called
Belatur.
Beltur. Where is Belatur?
Belatur is in Bangalore.
Bangalore. Where is Bangalore?
Bangalore is in Karnataka.
It is in
Karnataka.
Karnataka. Where is Karnataka? So what I will do is I'll just Control X, Control Y, Control V. Yeah. So where is Karnataka? Where is Karnataka located geographically?
India.
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 So India is the route. If you want to go to Manu PG and if you want to meet Dhananjay, you have to go to India. And if somebody wants to meet him, he has to definitely go to Karnataka. And if he wants to meet him, he has to go to Bangalore. From Bangalore, he has to go to path called Belatur. And from Belatur, if he has to go to the place naming as Sai Colony. Sai Colony. And if you have to go to Manu PG, you have to go, if you have to meet Dhananjay again, you have to go to Manu PG. Right? This is the hierarchy. This is the location. This is the identification of yourself in geographically. Right? So now this is called as a root. This is called as a root. Where you have to start with? You have to start with country. Maybe a person from USA is trying to come and meet Dhananjay. So he has to come to direct India first. From India, he has to go to Karnataka. From Karnataka, he has to go to Bangalore. From Bangalore, he has to visit Belatur. From Belatur, he has to visit Sai Colony. From Sai Colony, he has to visit Manu PG, and then he can meet. So this is the current directory. This is the current directory or current dir, current address. So this is coming from root to current directory. This is called as absolute path. It may be a day, it may be night. This will not change. Will it change?
No.
Winter season, rainy season, or maybe sunny season. Will it change?
No.
No, this is called as absolute path. This is called as absolute path. If you are trying to refer one particular file in system, you are coming from the root. That means, let me take you through this path, which is the deeper one. Let's say JRE and bin. As you know, we have command called Java here. Okay. So I want to take this path. This is the absolute path. Absolute path meaning absolute path of what? Java command, java.exe command. Java.exe command. This is, consider this java.exe as Dhananjay. Dhananjay is in Manu PG. Manu PG is in Belatur. Belatur is in Bangalore. Bangalore is in Karnataka. Karnataka is in India. So this is how you frame your path. This is how you frame your path. So starting from root to the child, last child or last recent child. Okay. So this is what is called absolute path. If you refer any resource in the system or in the disk, in the hard disk, it should go through this drive name, parent folder, second level child, third level child, fourth, fifth, any number of child levels can be traversed, can be changed to. So this is called as absolute path coming from root directory. Root directory is drive. Root directory is drive itself. Now let us understand about relative path. Relative path. So let me put this aside for some time. I'm just expanding the image. Okay, now let me take through with relative path. So relative path, let me put so Dhananjay, can you tell me your roommate?
Yeah,
His name?
Ram. Yeah.
Ram.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I am sharing my room with Ram. I am sharing my room with Dhananjay says I am sharing room with Ram. So where is Ram present?
With Dhananjay.
No. Ram is present in paying guest, paying
Yeah.
guest house, where it paying guest house located in Sai colony. Paying guest house located in Sai colony. Paying guest house located in Sai colony. Where is Sai colony located?
Beltur.
So I will give as a reference as, so where Belatur is located. Where Belatur located. Where is
In
Belatur
Bangalore.
located?
In
In a
Bangalore.
city, in a city where Belatur is located. In a city,
Yeah.
city which has Belatur. It is in the city which is having Belatur. So where is city Belatur present?
Bangalore.
No, city is name of the city which is having Belaturu is Bengaluru. So now you are referring to Karnataka state. It is a state which has IT value,
Bangalore
IT,
city.
IT Silicon Valley of India.
Yeah.
IT Silicon Valley of India. So where is IT Silicon Valley of India is located?
In Bangalore.
No. Where is this city located? City located in the country where Modi ji is ruling. Modi
India.
ji is the Prime Minister. So you are taking somebody's reference. You are taking somebody's reference to tell your home. To tell your home. Understood this? This is very important. So here, this is parent of this Ram. Parent of this place where Ram is staying is PG, Manu PG. Right? Parent of this Manu PG is in Sai colony. Parent of Manu PG is Sai colony. Parent of Sai colony is Belatur. Parent of Belatur is city with name. City with name
Bengaluru.
Bengaluru. Bengaluru is in Silicon Valley of India, that is Karnataka. Now Karnataka is in country where Modi ji is PM. This is called as relative path. That means you are taking reference. You are taking reference. You are taking reference of somebody to identify or to move. So dot is nothing but current directory. Dot is nothing but current directory. So if you put double dot, double dot is parent. Dot is current directory and double dot is parent directory. I'll show you the example. dir. You can see dot and double dot. It is a directory. Dot means directory. Double dot is again a directory. Dot means current directory. Current directory. Double dot means parent of current directory. Parent of current directory. So is this clear? Absolute path. So absolute path always goes from current directory. Relative path comes from root. Understood this? This is very important thing. So the direction of relative is direction of direction of relative path comes from bottom to top, whereas absolute path comes from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Top to means that is starting from root to child or leaf. But whereas a relative path is referring to the neighbors and parents. So this is Ram dot. Double dot means Sai colony. Double dot means Belaturu. Double dot means Bengaluru. Double dot means Karnataka. Double dot means India. What is the difference between absolute path and relative path? In relative path, we use only two things. One is dot and double dot. Parents, sibling of parent, sibling of parents, parent, sibling of parents, parents, parent. Like this, you traverse. Is it clear for you? What is absolute path and what is relative path?
Yes, sir, I understood.
Okay, that is good. This is all about absolute path and relative path. So relative path will be current path, current directory, parent of current directory, parent of parent directory of current directory. Like this, you traverse child of parent of current directory. Like this, if you are traversing, then that is a relative path. Relative path always uses dot and double dot. Dot means current directory. Double dot means parent directory. So always you refer to double dot and dot with relative. Whereas absolute path comes from root, say child, root to leaf. This is called as leaf. That means that is a final node. So the current directory can be bin, the current directory bin can be JRE, the current directory can be JDK, the current directory from maybe Java, current directory may be files. So any folder, it can be a current directory when you are in prompt. This is called as prompts, command prompt. Command prompt is a current working directory. Understanding simple hello world program. Tell me what is the code for hello world?
Class,
Class,
create a name as task. Anything we can name it, sir.
okay. Hello,
Yes, sir.
hello Java.
Okay.
Then
And open braces.
open curly braces,
Open curly braces. Public,
public,
static,
static,
void main,
void main,
open braces,
open round brackets,
open round bracket, string,
string,
arrays,
args,
arrays,
close. Then
system dot
system dot
out dot
out dot
println
println
open bracket
open round brackets,
double brace
double quotes.
double quotes hello world in between hello world we have
Inside double quotes, hello world.
to
Hello world. Welcome to Java programming. Then
close bracket.
close braces. Then
Sir,
then
system dot output println also we have to open the bracket.
yeah. Now you are correct.
Now again close bracket. So,
Yes. Now you are correct. So this is how we have to write hello world program. Right now, what is the next step?
we have to save.
We have to save the code. I have taken the file name. Then
File name
save.
dot Java.
So core Java file name dot Java extension dot Java extension. Click on save.
Yeah.
So now we have written the code. First step is completed. What is the next step? Rajwala, what is next step? Compiling. Right. So in order to compile, what we should do? What is the step in compilation? What step we should do for compiling? Dhananjay, what is the step for compiling?
Yeah. Open command.
Open
Java.
command prompt. Open command prompt. So open command prompt.
Yeah.
After opening command prompt, where are we right now in the command prompt?
We are in Java file.
We are in C files Java.
File.
Where did
File
we
Java.
save our hello Java file? Where did we save our hello Java file? Inside
We need to go up
CD.
to core Java.
Yeah, C:/files/Java/
Directly here, we cannot enter the core Java file
apps
without
slash
typing cd. Oh yes, we missed the apps. That's why.
core Java. C:/files/Java/apps/core Java. This is the path where we have saved our file. Now, how do I list my file name? Can somebody tell me the command to list current file name?
dir.
Dir.
Hello Java.
Hello. HALLO. I will do one
Java.
simple thing. I will do Java star dot Java. Okay. Let me do just star dot Java. I can find so many things, right? So what I do is HALLO. So I find hello java.java, hello world.java. So right now we have hello java.java, right? So let me compile. So as she said, Prajwala said, Java C hello java.java file. Java C HALLO java.java file. This is a command for compilation. Now next step is Java HALLO JAVA class name. Java class name for running. So we have done all the three steps in a quick manner. So I will write one more statement. System dot out dot println double quotes open double quotes close awesome Java programming. Awesome Java programming. Save this file again. So what is the next step once this file is modified and saved? What is the next step?
Compile again.
Compile the code once again. So Java C hello java.java. Then what is the next step?
Execute.
What is the command for execution? What is the command for execution? Java class
Java
name.
class name.
Correct. So let us use Java and the class name is HALLO Java. So let us execute. Hello world, welcome to Java programming. Awesome Java programming. So if you make any change to the code in the Java source file, you need to recompile in order to take the modified changes into Java executable code. So once after that, you have to execute Java class name. Java class name. So this is the basic class. So let us understand about this program. Okay. I will write a code and you tell me what is the error in that code. Is that good enough?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Class
Yeah.
A will it compile? Is this good Java code? Will it compile?
No, sir.
Will it compile? So Harsha says no.
No.
What will happen?
Compile time error.
Compile time error. No, it is not successful. Not successful. So if it is not compiled, do not run. So running not possible, correct? Will you all agree with this? So you are saying no or
Yeah.
yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes meaning what? It is a compile time error. Tell
Yes.
me the answer is like A or B. This is A. This is B. I will write C. Okay, compile success. Compile success. Then runtime error or D, none of the above. So Prajola, quickly respond with your answer. Is it A, B, C or D? Which one? C, compile success, runtime error. Okay, Dhanujay,
D.
B. Are you
Yeah.
B or C?
D.
D, none of the above.
Yeah.
Okay, Harshavardhan,
Runtime error.
runtime error. You change your answer. Okay, no worries. Let me try to do this. Save this file. I will save it as a.java in the Java core Java folder. Java C a.java. What is the output? Is there any compile time error?
Yeah.
Compile time error. You
No,
see
sir.
error. Is compiler throwing any error
No,
or
sir.
compilation is successful?
Successful.
Compilation is
Is
successful.
successful.
Meaning none of the above is not the answer because compilation is successful. Okay. So compilation is not successful,
Yeah.
compile time error. This is not the answer. And running is not possible because class file is not there, running is not possible. No, this is not also the case. Compile time success and runtime error. Let us conclude this answer whether it is correct or not. Java A. So what does it say? This error exactly we discussed it 1 or 2 days before. What is the error?
Yeah,
Please read down
main
the
method not
error.
found.
Main method not found in
Not found. Class A.
class A. Then what is it saying?
Please define the main method as.
Please define main method as public static void main. So it is clearly giving a runtime error. Note down this runtime error. Note down this runtime error. So it is clearly saying the error. So if there is some error, you have to understand, you have to read each word of this particular error. Then you can resolve the issue. If you don't understand this, you don't read this particular error, then you will never be able to fix it. You will never be able to fix it if you don't read this particular thing. Good job that you have given correct answer, which is compile success but runtime error. Compile time success but runtime error. So let me write another class A. Class A. This is, I am giving one number A1. Inside this, I am writing public static void main string args open brace system dot out dot println of hey, close parenthesis and close parenthesis again. So this is the another program. Let me save this as a.a1.java file. Now tell me, will it compile success, or let me put it this way. A, it is compile time error. Compile time error, CTE. Second one, B, it is runtime error. C, compile success, run success, output is hey. Then D, this I will say compile success, runtime error, compile success, runtime successful, and output D option none. Okay, I'll say none of the above. Tell me what is your answer.
A.
So Prajwala has said A. Prajwala said A as the answer. Dhananjay, what is your answer?
A.
A. It is a compile time error. Harshavardhan?
Yes.
What is your point on it? It is A, B, C, D. Which one?
C, sir.
C. So let us see whether it is A or B or C. Okay, Prajwala says it is A, and Dhananjay also say, I'll put it this way, A choice, Prajwala, then Dhananjay, and C, Harsha. So let us compile this. So I will put it in comments. So in Java, if you put 2 forward slashes, then that line will become comment. Then that line will become comment. So let us compile Java A1 dot Java. What is it saying?
Error.
Compile time error. What is the error? Can you please read the error?
Main method, you did mistakes.
No. I'm asking you to read. I'm not asking you tell me what is the error. I'm asking you to read. What is it saying?
Public static void main of string.
Before public static void main, is there any line?
Yes, sir. Expected.
Yeah, from start you read.
Expected public static void main of string.
No,
arrays.
you still missed something. So in the output, in the error, first thing it is displaying as a1.java. What is a1.java? It
Class
is a
name.
file name.
Yeah.
a1.java is a file name. So while executing a1.java, it has got one error. Second thing, semicolon, colon, file name, colon, the 3, number 3. Can you go back to the code and see what is 3? 3 is line number 3.
Yes, sir.
3 is line number 3.
Line number 3. Yes.
So when you come back here, then line number 3, there is an error. So you have to go to the line and you have to see what is the error. So error, it says error. What is the type of error? Identifier expected. Identifier expected. And then it is saying public, and it is giving one power symbol. That means there is some problem at this place. At this place. What is the error at this place? What is the difference in the previous class to this class? Public means P is
should be small.
Yeah,
small
P
letter.
is capital letter right now. If we put as a small letter,
Yes.
then it will compile successfully.
Yes.
Then run Java A1. So it will give output, right? So this is the mistake. So you have to have correctly, you should write all in small case only. Okay, all in small case. So let me write another class A2 public static void test string args square brackets open close system dot out dot println double quotes close. Hey, from A2 what is the answer now? Compile time error, CTE, B, compile success, runtime error, C, compile success, runtime success, output hey from A2. This is the output. Then D, none of the above. None of the above. So I'm saving this file as a2.java in the core Java folder. Can you tell me what is the answer? What will be your choice? What is the answer expected here? Is it A, or is it B, or is it C, or is it D?
C.
C is
Yes,
the
sir.
answer, correct?
Sir, in main method confirm we should use, no, sir?
That is what I don't know. You tell me, what is your guess?
Error, sir. Compile time.
Compile time error. Compile time error or runtime error? A
First
or
was
B?
mistake.
First one is the answer. Okay, first one, Harsha. Harsha says option A. Dhananjay?
C.
C. Dhananjay. Prajwala, is it C or anything else? If it is C, just type C again. Prajwala, please be quick. C. Okay. Prajwala also voted for C. Let me read down. So it is compile time error or compile success, runtime success, output A from A2. A from A2. Let me compile this. So Java C A2.java. This is how we compile. Compilation success. So this answer is incorrect. Compilation is success. So this option is incorrect. So Dhananjay and Prajwala, one more chance. I'm giving you to again rethink. Is it hey from Java or none of the above or runtime error? Please respond quickly. C. Very confidently C. Dhananjay?
C.
Okay. So don't get stunned. Okay. Don't get surprised. It is a runtime error. It is a runtime error. What does it say? Can you read?
Main method not found in class A2. Please define the main method as public static void main string square brackets args.
So now you understood. So
Yeah.
compiler does not bother whether the file name, whether the function name is main or not. Compiler does not bother whether the name of the function is main or anything else. It only checks for the syntax. As per the syntax, it says public static void main void should be in small letters. If you find any character which is not small case, then it is identifying that word as a different word and it complies with error. It does not matter whether it is a main method or whether it is a test method. It does not bother. The compilation will not question if the function name is changed from main to something else. But while executing this particular thing, you have to execute class So whenever you execute Java code, it is always looking for main method only. It does not look for any other method. It looks for only main method. It will search for each method in the program. It will try to find where is main, where is main, where is main. If main method is found, then it will execute. If main method is not found, it will raise a runtime error. Understood this? Compiler does
Yeah.
not bother the name of function is main or yum or dam, whatever it is, it does not bother. Compiler does not question about your function name, method name. Compiler bothers only with respect to syntactical errors. Syntactical errors. But while executing our Java environment, which means Java JVM, that is Java command will trigger JVM, which is interpreter. So this interpreter, while executing, it will read this class, it will load this class, and it will start reading each file, each method in that particular class. You may write 100 functions, 100 methods. It will read each method, check each method and see if there is a main or not. You write 200 methods, it will still look for main method only. It will not look for anything. So main method is a callback method. Main method is a callback method. That means your program execution starts from main method only. Even though you have thousands of functions or methods in your class written, it will always look for main method only. That is why it is called as callback. So this is a code we have written. And we can write thousands of functions. But how does a Java interpreter know from where to start? Where should I start from 1000 functions, 1000 methods? So it does not know about all the methods, but it definitely knows about one method that is called as main method. It is always looking for that main method to start your Java program execution. So Java class execution starts from main method and ends in the main method.